Alright guys, as promised, I went ahead and recorded a quick video for your week 33 classwork, specifically the practice workbook 5A-4 reading comprehension section that is on the very back of your packet. The activity that is titled Una noticia terrible, which in English means something like terrible news. So, your 5A-4 looks something like this. You can see we've got the title here, Una noticia terrible, terrible news, and we've got some instructions. Say, read the following news story and answer the questions below. So, I'm going to read this for you through in Spanish, and then we are going to take a look at exactly what this means. But it's important that you guys get used to hearing Spanish, especially those of you who are going to continue on to Spanish 3 next year. So I do want to read it for you first in Spanish. It says, ayer hubo un terremoto muy fuerte cerca de la ciudad. Creemos que muchas personas murieron y el terremoto también destruyó muchos edificios. Después de investigar, la policía dice que ocurrió a las 2 de la mañana. Toda la ciudad dormía cuando de repente comenzó un temblor, o shaking, enorme. Muchas personas asustadas gritaron, mientras que otras trataron de llamar a la policía. La gente viva trató de ayudar a otras personas a escapar del peligro. Muchas personas valientes son los héroes del momento por rescatar a sus compañeros heridos de uno de los peores desastres en la historia de la ciudad. So a lot of you right now are looking at this and thinking, okay, Miso, that's great, you can read Spanish, but what does it all mean? So let's start with this word right here. Terremoto. A terremoto is an earthquake. So this whole story is about an earthquake. You guys have seen this word before. Ayer means yesterday. So yesterday there was a very strong, muy fuerte, there was a very strong earthquake close to the city. We believe that muchas personas, so lots of people, murieron. This means they died. And here's that word again, earthquake, also did what? It destroyed, that's a vocab word, many buildings. So yesterday there was a very strong earthquake near the city. We believe that many people died, and the earthquake also destroyed many buildings. The next paragraph says, después de investigar, so after investigating, these people right here, the police, say that it ocurrió, this is a cognate, it occurred at 2 o'clock in the morning. You guys have seen mañana before too. Toda la ciudad dormía, so the whole city was sleeping when suddenly, this phrase right here, de repente, that means suddenly, an enormous shaking began. Muchas personas asustadas gritaron, mientras que otras trataron de llamar a la policía. So, a lot of people, what kind of people? Personas asustadas. This means scared or frightened. So a lot of frightened people were screaming or yelling, while others they tried to call the police. La gente viva trató de ayudar a las otras personas a escapar del peligro. So the people who were still alive tried to help other people to escape from danger. And I think maybe 2 chapters ago you guys had a word very similar to this that was peligroso, that meant dangerous. So they're actually from the same root. Muchas personas valientes son los héroes del momento por rescatar a sus compañeros heridos de uno de los peores desastres en la historia de la ciudad. Wow, that's a long sentence. Alright, so lots of, do you see this word right here? Lots of valiant people. Valiant is another word for brave. So lots of brave people are the, what's this? They are the heroes of the moment for rescuing their companions, specifically their injured companions, from one of the worst disasters in the history of the city. So, now that we have taken a look at the reading, let's take a look at the questions. So question number 1 says, ¿Qué cosa terrible ocurrió ayer? This question is asking what terrible thing occurred, and you've seen this word before. This is yesterday. So what terrible thing occurred yesterday? What terrible thing occurred yesterday? There was a terremoto. What's a terremoto? There was an earthquake. What about number 2? What is number 2 asking? Number 2 says, ¿Qué pudo decir la policía sobre el terremoto? And you guys should know this word. Decir means to say. So what did the police say about the earthquake? So the police said que ocurrió a las 2 de la mañana. They said it happened at around 2 a.m. Question 3 asks, ¿había mucha gente por las calles cuando comenzó? And then it tells you to explica. So it's asking, was there a lot of people in the streets? Las calles, streets. When it began, comenzar is to begin, to commence. It means to start. And then explain. So, were there a lot of people in the street? Were there a lot of people out and about when the earthquake started? No. And then I explained, porque todos estaban en sus casas durmiendo. So there were not a lot of people in the street. Why? It was 2 o'clock in the morning. Everyone was at home sleeping. So number 4 asks, ¿qué hicieron las personas que sintieron el terremoto. So you've got people and you've got earthquake. ¿Qué hicieron means what did they do? So what did the people do when they felt the earthquake? So the reading tells us some of them gritaron, otros intentaron llamar a la policía. That should say, I need to fix it. That should say la policía. La. So, gritaron, intentaron llamar a la policía. They screamed and they tried to call the police. What about number 5? Number 5 asks, ¿cómo se compara este desastre con nosotros en la historia de la ciudad? So, how does this disaster compare, that's a cognate, with others in the history of the city? So what did the reading tell us about this earthquake compared to others in the history of the city? It tells us that this was one of the worst disasters in the history of the city. Fue uno de los peores desastres en la historia de la ciudad. And number 6, the last question asks, ¿por qué son héroes algunas personas? So why are some of the people being called heroes? And if you look at the reading, it tells us, por rescatar a sus compañeros heridos, because they helped or rescued their injured companions. So guys, I just want to remind you, these are due. I want you to leave your week 33 packets in your folders so that I can come in on Saturday and finish up with the grading, so that on Monday you guys can have copies of your student detail reports and know exactly what I've got, what points you've earned, what you are still missing, and exactly where you stand for this progress report that's due next Friday. If you have any other outstanding work, you can leave it for me too. I'll go through your packets and make sure that I pull out everything that I can to grade. We are looking at a test on this material not next week, but the following Thursday. I want to say the date is May 11th, which means your notebooks will be due May 12th. So I know you've heard it from me every day this week, but just in case, if you haven't finished putting your vocab into your notebooks, that means all 4 columns. Spanish, English, pronunciation, and 14 out of 28 words need pictures. You need to take care of that. Enjoy your weekend, everybody, and I will see you back on Monday.